Welcome to the Crypt of Wax, where we cover the latest metal releases. Today we are talking Astral Gauze, a fire as alien as hostile. Quite a bizarre title, but I dig it nonetheless. A quick overview, I guess, black metal, US black metal, but with a kind of sci-fi tint, would you say, Mike?
Yes, and can I just say, if anyone saw me quickly dart my hand from my mouth, I had a bit of popcorn caught in there. So that's why I took it out, because anyone was wondering. I'm sure they weren't, but just in case you were, that's what was happening. It is what you say, isn't it? It's black metal with a heavy dose of sci-fi in there as well, in the art and and not just in the art, in the vibe as well. Vibe of the music's very got that sort of thing going on.
It does. I mean, I'm unfamiliar with this band, Mike. Do you have any history on them, or?
They're new. They're brand new.
Oh, is this a first thing? Is it?
Yeah. I think they formed last year, but so the drummer is the main man from Ebony Pendant.
Oh, I love that. I
And
love that last record Ebony
yeah,
Pendant put out.
same.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I listened to that today because I was listening to. I'm going to listen to that.
really good.
And he was also in that band. Do you remember that band Cavern?
Yeah.
Sort of Death Doom band. Yeah, he was in them as well.
Ah, okay. Good bands.
But not the drum. Yeah, good bands. But he wasn't. I think he was guitarist in both Cavern and obviously in Ebony Pendant. He does everything. So very, very talented man on drums. And then this other guy, Krieger.
Yeah, I've heard of this guy
bands.
before. I think he's done a few things.
He has. I've heard. I feel like I don't know if I've heard them, but Rune Blade
That's it.
was familiar.
Yeah.
But it's a two-piece. So this is their first release. They haven't done any kind of like demos or EPs or splits or anything. This was the first thing they've done.
Interesting. Yeah. You don't really get too much sci-fi black metal, do you? I mean, obviously, Kralis comes to mind as the standout, but Kralis is a lot more polished and proggy, whereas this has that more like raw US black metal.
Yeah.
With sci-fi intertwined. But yeah, like I think, I mean, I'm a huge sucker for that kind of sound. Like I love spacey sci-fi synths, and I love black metal. So on paper,
well, the guy who with the artwork, they use that Bruce Pennington.
That's
guy.
right. Yeah, it's got that kind of blood incantation.
Yeah, he did that blood incantation album.
Or they took it from his work. But yeah, it has that sort of vibe, doesn't it? It does that. It's that emotive, otherworldly sci-fi feel. But yeah, I guess going straight into it, the album sort of starts off, doesn't it? You've got like a little sci-fi synth melody that's very short-lived, but it does sort of like open up the atmosphere, doesn't it?
It's quite nice how short it is, because you hear it and it's great. And you're just about to be like, right, what are they going to do with it? And then it's gone, it's straight, and it's straight in. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because it goes into something kind of completely different as well. Almost, it doesn't bounce off that melody of the.
No, it doesn't sort of flow in or anything like that. No.
It goes into that kind of. You've got like that classic kind of mid-tempo blast with a little bit, and the chord sequence is actually really nice, isn't it? It's not necessarily like an evil black metal, is it? It's got that kind of more emotive, quasi uplifting feel.
Yeah. It has. Yeah, it's definitely sort of fits into that bracket. I really like the guitar tone on this. It didn't feel too distorted and like fizzy. It was kind of it wasn't as high on the gain, but there was a lot of clarity in there. But you could pick out.
Yeah, there was, especially like when they also went clean. I guess we'll talk about that when we kind of get there. But there are some clean interludes where that sound, it was like it was harsh and fuzzed, but it was still quite intricate and like delicate. It was done really well. But yeah, track one, just going back to that, there was a lot of nice changes of pace in this. The drums was doing some really nice like flourishes, and like he would change up the kind of style quite almost suddenly and quickly, which I really enjoyed. But I think what I love about, I've said this before on the show, but like in black metal vocals, when there's that shriek, it's like an anguished shriek that sort of just sounds crazy. There's one of those in this song. If you put that in a song, I'm in. I'm a sucker for it. Yeah, but there was one of those. It was like everything drops out, and then the vocalist sort of he rings out the kind of title of the track, and then he does these anguished shrieks, and I'm all for that, man.
That was cool, because that change, it was a little bit, the chords, even though they were melodic, they went a little bit darker, didn't they, slightly?
They did. There was a little, that was throughout, I found. They were like, it would be there there'd be a lot of melody, but then it would sort of shift to like a bit more frantic and evil. But then they would find melody again and kind of bring
Yeah.
it a bit more upbeat. And I think that's the kind of trope with US black metal, isn't it? It's a lot more kind of atmospheric and not necessarily about that icy evil sound.
No, and I actually I think the best stuff that does that is when they can sort of integrate
The two,
the two.
yeah.
That's when I'm really into it. Yeah.
Yeah, track two, "Vessel of Infinite Thirst." This song had a kind of slower approach, but then it kind of introduced some pace with like the double kick, but still kept this kind of slower beat. But then there was a pace change around halfway. That, yeah, like we were saying about the evilness. That's when they kind of interjected like the first real dose of like evil kind of black metal, and I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
And towards the end, like I thought there was going to be like a ripping solo. They kind of tease you with a kind of note, a couple like lead note bends, but then it doesn't really happen.
Well, there's not really. I mean, there's not really much solo wise on this album, is there? It's almost like we'll get to it. They save it till right near the end.
Yes, there is. But I mean, on first listen, I thought, oh shit, there's going to be a really cool.
It's gonna go. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
But it didn't. But it wasn't like a letdown. It was still a cool sound. Then yeah, track three, "Fell Tidings of the Sublunar Glades." This was the kind of interlude I was talking about. It felt really like
Yeah.
it was really well put together. Do you think?
I loved it. I loved the production of the guitar. It was clean, but there was this sort of almost analogy type
Yeah.
overdrive sort of slight thing to it as well, which I thought was really, really nice. Just added a nice element of I don't want to say rawness, but it made it kind of blend more with what the guitars were doing, distorted as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they kind of nailed the production sound on that. There was another.
Great performance as well of it. It's a great little
It
piece.
is. It's really like I was saying. It's delicate and it's intricate. It's like really
Mm.
well performed. There is another interlude that comes after the following track, which is more sci-fi based.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was going to say to you, do you feel that they could have injected more sci-fi ness into this record?
Overall, do you know what? No, I think they integrated enough. Like, I feel like the following song is it the
Twin
hang
Razors
on,
of the Terror and Hate.
which was the really long one?
Track six,
No, that was Eldritch,
Eldritch
wasn't it?
Glaring Pastel Fog. Yeah, track six. That was 12 minutes.
That
That was
I felt. Yeah, and I felt like that one had quite a sci-fi vibe to not necessarily the clean stuff that they did, but when the band are in, there's a lot of kind of atmospheric synths going on, which I thought really brought it during that song.
yes. I think that was the only song where they really pushed the synths along with the kind of instrumentation. Before you'd kind of get like a dropout and maybe a slight lead. There was a bit in track four towards the end where there was a bit of like a pinging synth that was going around, but track six was like definitely the first track where
Yeah,
they would like push, having like an accompanying piece of music as a kind of sci-fi synth with the kind of guitars rather than just having a
yeah,
separated thing. And I think they could have done more of it, to be honest. I
yeah.
loved hearing that. I think that was,
It was great. Yeah,
yeah, I think
but do you wonder why if you liked it more because it was sparing, so when it came in, it did stand out, or do you think because of the vibe of the album, maybe they could have afforded to have a little bit more of that
I
going
think they
on?
could have afforded more. I think
Mm,
with a if you're going to go sci-fi black metal, like I think you've got to kind of go all in almost, haven't you, and include
mm.
those spacey synths almost as predominantly as a guitar. Like Krallice kind of
Yeah,
pushed that, and even have like fully synth heavy songs, right? Where guitars take a
yeah.
backseat. I think this band could really like shine if they kind of injected that a little bit more.
And cool to do that from like the more rawer black metal approach as well.
Yeah,
The band sound live when they're playing, which I'm not sure if they are because obviously two piece and stuff they would have had to kind of multi-track because there's a bass guitar in there as well, isn't there? You can hear
there
quite up in the mix too.
yeah, it is. The bass actually drives a lot of the melody in some of the songs,
I think so. Yeah,
which I really enjoyed. But yeah, I think you'd probably have to separate it and track it. But the drums, having live drums and like the drummer injecting a lot of really cool kind of like flourishes that you probably wouldn't do if you were just kind of tracking it with programs. It adds a lot.
yeah, yeah. No, no, it does. And actually, like you listen to that drum production on there, it doesn't sound really like there's been any processing
No.
at all. Like it sounds really live, but loads of there's clarity. You can hear everything really clearly with the kit. Um, but it sounds like it's not been like really multi-mic'd either. It sounds like it's more of a live recording of it, but everything's like picked out perfectly.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it was a friend of the show, Mysterium Xerxes. When he says that he
Yeah,
just records it with an iPhone,
yeah,
and Krallis, do you remember that Krallis lockdown EP where he
yeah.
just put the
He did the same,
yeah,
didn't
he
he?
did the same, and you can actually get like a really good sound out of it, which is
Yeah.
crazy to think of it. Mike, do you think track 6 felt like it should have been the album ender?
No, can I tell you why?
Please.
Because track 7, the end section of it, like the end riff that they work around, is probably the best, one of my favorite bit of the album.
It's very standout, isn't it?
Well, they don't really do a lot like it. I think it's probably the only time they do a riff like
It's
that.
quite metallic, isn't it?
Um, Quite metallic, yeah, yeah. It's quite thrashy as well in places.
Yeah, that's the drums
Um,
kind of carry that thrash element, don't they? They change the
yeah, yeah,
because the
yeah.
riff kind of stays the same, doesn't it? But then the drums progress and go like either thrashy or slower. I wonder if there was like
And they bring a lead line in as well.
yeah,
There's like a lead line that sort of interacts and changes things up as well. And I think that I love the way that works with the riff in there, where it's sort of at points following the chord changes of it.
I was going to say, do you think they had a hardcore background at some point because some of
Like the drummer has. I feel like the drum. I know I said
yeah.
this about Mysterium Xerxes as well, and I was right. Um, I feel like the drummer from this band probably does as well.
Because there's a couple of beats that he'll bring in. There's that kind of that real like Tom hardcore, like dun dun cat dun dun cat, like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then also the chuggier riff at the end did have, and there was again on track 4 there was like a kind of post hardcore feel to that song. I just
Mhm.
think overall, I think they probably maybe had a slight.
I like it though.
Uh,
I like it when they bring that stuff in because it brings an energy to it.
yeah, it does. It does. It's like black metal artists now kind of had that grow like hardcore bands growing up, so there is that kind of injection of that feeling into it now,
Yeah,
which is quite cool. But yeah, I think I really love that last riff. I do feel that track 6 was probably the more obvious and potentially better ending, just because of like the last half of it, and it had a really cool clean outro, gave it an album
yeah.
vibe.
Well, they bring the clean back in, don't they, from the beginning of the song?
Yes, yeah, they do to end
Yeah,
it. Whereas at the end of track 7, it did that thing, Mike, where a band will kind of just end really abruptly, and it almost felt like the guitarist went on like he did one extra stab more than he should have, and was like, oh, and then
well, the drummer followed it as well, but then nothing else did. So the bass didn't follow
yeah,
it, or the other guitar. Again though, I liked it. It was kind of like it had that sort of live in the room sort of feel. Fuck up, but they've kept it because it's quite
just like oh,
cool. I
fuck,
don't
fuck
know.
it, that would do.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are new here, we don't talk about these records off air. We just pick a record and come on here and then discuss it. But it's maybe I can guess that you're going to be a fan of this, Mike. But Mike, did you like this
Oh, I
record?
enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, I had a really good time with it. It was really enjoyable. Felt like it was a good amount of songs. I liked the two interludes as well. I thought they broke things up really nicely.
yeah,
And I think like I mean, it's obviously got incredible artwork as well, and I feel like the music sat really well with it. It was like the whole thing.
yeah. Cool logo as well. Just like the whole front. The
Yeah.
front cover really intrigued me. That's kind of what made me click it initially, and then I was really pleasantly surprised. And it's cool to know that drum was in Ebony Pendant as well. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Great band.
Talented guy.
Yeah, very. Okay, listen, if you got to this point in the video, thank you for checking it out and give us a like and a subscribe. We put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest metal releases. But yes, we will catch you in the next one.